Ladies and gentlemen, seekers and wanderers, let me ask you a simple yet terrifying question. Are you ready to run? Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you have it all figured out, but now. Because here's the truth. Time does not wait. It does not pause for your self-doubt, your hesitation, or your endless calculations of risk and reward. It moves relentlessly, like a great river, sweeping everything in its path. And you are either flowing with it or standing still, waiting for some mythical moment of readiness that will never arrive. Tell me, what are you waiting for? We tell ourselves that the right moment will come, that one day everything will align, the doubts will dissolve, and we will finally feel ready. We convince ourselves that patience is wisdom, that waiting is preparation, that in some distant future we will be stronger, braver, and more capable than we are today. And so we wait. We wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect mindset, the perfect opportunity. But time does not wait. The river of life does not pause for us to gather our courage. It moves, indifferent to our hesitation, carrying with it the chances we were too afraid to take, the dreams we postponed, the steps we never dared to make. Yet we cling to the illusion that waiting serves us. We disguise our fear as logic, telling ourselves that caution is necessary, that we must have a plan, that we must be absolutely certain before we act. But certainty never comes. No amount of waiting will ever erase risk. No amount of hesitation will ever make the unknown less unknown. We think we are preparing, but more often than not, we are simply stalling, mistaking inaction for strategy, mistaking delay for wisdom. Consider this: has there ever been a time when you truly felt ready? Or have you only ever moved forward when you decided to act despite your uncertainty? Readiness is not something that arrives. It is something you create in the moment you choose to step forward. Yet we resist this truth, holding on to the comforting lie that someday the fear will vanish on its own. But fear does not fade with time. It fades with action. Life is happening now. The door in front of you will not stay open forever. The longer you wait, the heavier your feet become, the stronger the grip of hesitation, and before you know it, the moment has passed and you are left with nothing but the echoes of what could have been. So tell me, if not now, then when? If you will not run today, what makes you believe you will run tomorrow? We often believe that readiness is something we acquire over time, that it's a state of being we reach after mastering the right skills, gathering the right resources, or overcoming certain obstacles. We tell ourselves that we must be prepared, that we need to be more confident, more experienced, more qualified. But in reality, readiness is not a condition, it's a decision. It is a moment of choice when we decide that despite our fears, despite our doubts, we will move forward anyway. Yet when faced with that decision, what stands between us and the action we desire is not a lack of preparation. It is fear. Fear wears many masks. It can appear as doubt, insecurity, self-criticism, or the overwhelming desire to control every outcome. It convinces us that the future will be uncertain, that we will fail, that we will not measure up. And it whispers to us that we should wait until we feel more ready, more certain. Readiness, then, is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act despite it. It is acknowledging the fear, feeling it fully, and yet choosing to move anyway. This is the true nature of readiness. It is not waiting for the fear to subside. It is making space for fear and moving forward with it. And once we take that first step, something extraordinary happens. The fear begins to lose its power. The unknown becomes less threatening. With each step, we become more equipped, more resilient, more capable. The idea that we must be perfectly ready before we can act is a trap. If we wait until we are no longer afraid, we will never move. The act of moving, of running, is what creates readiness. The fear will always be there, but we will have learned to dance with it, to make it a companion rather than a hindrance. And with that partnership, we will find that we are more than ready. We are already on the path, already becoming. Life in its purest essence is not a static affair. It is a vast, ever-unfolding dance, a movement that stretches across time and space. It is not something we control, nor something we can predict. It is a dynamic, living force that flows through us and all around us, shaping everything in its wake. From the smallest cell to the grandest galaxy, everything is in motion, constantly shifting, transforming, evolving. The great cosmic dance is an eternal rhythm, a symphony of interconnected forces, and each of us is a dancer in this magnificent performance. Yet, we often forget this. We believe that life should be linear, that it should follow a predictable path, one that we can map out in neat, tidy lines. We try to grasp at control, to direct the flow of the dance, to impose our will upon it. But in doing so, we forget that the very nature of life is movement, change, and unpredictability. The universe is not static. The stars do not stand still, and neither do we. We are always in motion, always evolving, even when we feel like we are standing still. To deny this movement is to deny the essence of life itself. To dance with the universe is not to force a rigid plan upon it, but to surrender to its rhythm, to allow ourselves to be carried by the flow of existence. Life's dance is not about control. It is about surrender. It is about giving ourselves over to the unknown, trusting that the steps will reveal themselves as we move, knowing that each moment holds its own unique beauty, its own unique lesson. The dance does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be planned. It simply needs to be experienced. Letting go is perhaps one of the most misunderstood acts we can engage in. To the mind, it often feels like giving up, like losing control or abandoning what we have worked so hard to build. We are conditioned to believe that holding on is a sign of strength, that we must grasp tightly to our dreams, our possessions, our plans, and even our fears, in order to preserve them, to ensure they do not slip away. But in reality, the true strength lies not in holding on, but in letting go. It is only by releasing our grip that we are able to experience the true freedom of life. When we hold on too tightly, we create a cage for ourselves. We bind ourselves to expectations, to outcomes, to a rigid view of how things should be. We weigh ourselves down with the burdens of control, thinking that if we can just manage every detail, if we can just plan every step, we will somehow find peace. But this peace never comes. Instead, we become trapped in a cycle of anxiety and tension, perpetually preparing for a future that never arrives, clinging to what no longer serves us. Holding on in this way is a form of resistance. It is an attempt to fight against the natural flow of life, against the inevitable changes that occur in every moment. But when we let go, something miraculous happens. We open ourselves up to the flow of life. We stop trying to control the direction of the river, and instead we allow ourselves to be carried by it. We stop struggling against the current, against the inevitable twists and turns, and we begin to move with it. In that moment, we experience a kind of freedom that cannot be found through control, a freedom that comes from surrender, from releasing the need to know, to plan, to predict. Letting go allows us to experience life as it is, without the weight of expectation, without the constant burden of analysis. Letting go is not about giving up on our dreams, abandoning our responsibilities, or resigning ourselves to fate. It is about freeing ourselves from the illusion of control. It is about acknowledging that we cannot control everything, and that trying to do so only leads to frustration, suffering, and limitation. To let go is to trust that life has its own rhythm, its own wisdom, and that we are a part of it, not separate from it. The unknown is a concept that both fascinates and terrifies us. It represents everything that lies outside of our understanding, outside of our control, and outside of our comfort zone. We fear the unknown because it challenges everything we think we know about ourselves, about life, and about the world around us. It is a place of uncertainty, a place where we cannot predict the outcome, where we cannot plan every step. The unknown is the realm where the familiar dissolves, and we are left to face the raw, uncharted possibilities of existence. Yet this is where true growth lives. We often seek to avoid the unknown, to shield ourselves from its unpredictable nature and to cling to what is familiar, but in doing so, we trap ourselves in the confines of the known. We become stuck in patterns that no longer serve us, in routines that have grown stale, and in beliefs that limit our potential. The unknown is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is the canvas upon which new possibilities are painted, the space where transformation takes place. To embrace the unknown is to surrender the need for certainty, to release the illusion that we can control every outcome. It is to acknowledge that we are not in charge of the universe, that we cannot predict the future, and that life will always hold elements beyond our comprehension. The unknown is not something that threatens us. It is a space of freedom where the possibilities are limitless. By embracing it, we step outside of our rigid expectations and open ourselves to a world of infinite potential. The unknown is not a void. It is not an empty space devoid of meaning. It is full of potential, full of experiences waiting to unfold. It is a rich, vibrant field where everything is in flux, where each moment offers a new opportunity, a new adventure. When we step into the unknown, we are stepping into the flow of life, allowing ourselves to be carried by forces greater than ourselves. We give up the need to control the direction, and instead we trust in the unfolding of the journey. There is beauty in the unknown because it is in this space that we truly come alive. The familiar is safe, yes, but it is also limiting. When we stay within the confines of what we already know, we miss out on the richness of life's experiences. The unknown challenges us to grow, to expand, to evolve. It asks us to become something more than what we are today, to stretch beyond our current limitations, and to see the world with fresh eyes. In the unknown, we find the courage to take risks, to leap without knowing where we will land. We are no longer confined by the need for certainty, and instead we discover that we are capable of navigating the uncertainties of life with grace and resilience. It is in the unknown that we uncover new aspects of ourselves, our strength, our creativity, our adaptability. And we realize that we are more capable than we ever imagined. To embrace the unknown is to embrace life itself. Life is a constant unfolding, a series of moments that cannot be predicted, that cannot be controlled. When we let go of the need to know, we open ourselves up to the vastness of existence. We allow ourselves to be part of the flow of life, to ride the waves of change, to accept the ebb and flow of joy and sorrow, success and failure, clarity and confusion. The unknown is the very essence of living. It is the space where everything is possible. In embracing the unknown, we stop seeing it as a threat and start seeing it as an invitation. It is an invitation to explore, to discover, to experience, and to grow. The unknown is not something to be feared, it is something to be welcomed with open arms, for it holds the key to our transformation. It is the place where we shed our old selves, where we let go of our attachments, and where we step into the full potential of who we are meant to be.